knocks it back for Lafreniere. Laid back to Addison. Galen Addison. Break wide, he goes for Hayton. And away comes Barrett Hayton across the line. To Cousins. And Canada gets set up in the offensive zone. Addison flips that down to Hayton. Barrett Hayton to Cousins. Works it behind the goal and across to Valeno. Lafreniere on the high slot. Addison across to Hayton. A quick shot. Tip wide by Cousins. Lafreniere back with it. Lays it around. Hayton knocks it down to the boards. Barrett Hayton. Swings that back to Addison. Long shot. That was blocked in front. Romanov got a stick on it. Now Galchenyuk off the boards by Addison and down the ice. Nolan Foote for Canada has played just 8 minutes through 2 periods. There's so much penalty killing going on. Waiting his chance on the power play. Here's Valeno, goes rink wide now to Cousins. Dylan Cousins swings that back to Addison. Across he goes for Lafreniere. Inside a minute to go on the Canadian power play. Addison across to Lafreniere. Feeds across the Hayton. Back in front. Miptahov to save. And Voronkov moves it out short-handed for Russia. In comes Voronkov. A long shot. Hofer knocked that away but couldn't squeeze it. And now fired back down to the Russian zone by Mizyul. Canada gets fresh legs on the ice. Away comes Hayton. Hayton tied up, trying to play that back in deep. Alexandrov knocked it down. Kruglov works in short-handed. Kruglov pokes up behind the Canadian goal line. Bowen Byram back for it. And Byram flips it back for Lafreniere. Foot out there now. Lafreniere feeds the pass to him. Skipped off his stick. Galchenyuk has it. And wrists it down the ice. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Ty Smith with it. Up ahead to Byram. The pass missed. Galchenyuk sends it right back down.
So now the difference is the 1 5-on-5 goal in the game. Both teams have had equal number of power plays, each with 1 power play goal.
Mizyul to Zhuravlov. Feeds that in the corner. Havanov looks down for Denisenko. And it's picked up by Lavoie. McMichael calling for it. Lead pass. Connor McMichael in alone. Stopped by Miptahov. Amir Miptahov turns away. McMichael on the breakaway. Ty Smith lines it across to McIsaac. He fans in the clearing attempt. Sokolov drops it back for Denisenko. And Denisenko with it. Down to Havanov. Now Sokolov tied up there by Ty Smith. Smith trying to poke it ahead. Lavoie on it. At the line. And Zamula with a long shot knocked away by Hofer. Now another chance. That's flipped wide by Havanov. Havanov. Back to Pilyankov. To Havanov. A big battle in front. Sokolov got a stick on that. Hofer down. The well on track for Sokolov turned away. Now Lavoie has it back. Canada breaks out. As McIsaac goes ahead to McMichael. McMichael down to McIsaac, who's jumped in on Pilyankov. Canada chaining off the bench comes Foudy. And Liam Foudy plays that in, knocked down by Kruglov.
Well, what a chance for Connor McMichael to tie this game. Gorgeous feed from Lavoie to send him in.
Bernard Docker flips it back to Kevin Ball. Lead pass on the table, Dellandrea. Ty Dellandrea works in. Dellandrea with a shot. Left-footed wide. Romanov back on it. Dellandrea launched into him. And now Kruglov to the line, but not out. Addison a long shot. Miptahov swept that away. Foudy picks it up. Liam Foudy loose along the board. Chops that down to Dellandrea. Here's Romanov with it with time. Out to center ice. Marchenko with it. By Addison, and back his Ball to pick it up. Ball pokes it there for Dellandrea. Marchenko picked it off, and now Addison has it back. Hooks that to Foudy. And now Ball back with it. Ball spins that back to Addison. Both teams changing now as Addison flips out ahead for Valeno. Joe Valeno. Caught up by Alexandrov, spins free. Now Valeno slides it across to Bernard Docker. A centering pass. Valeno tipped that, and Miptahov kicked that away.
Lafreniere on the ice with Foote and Valeno this time.
Byram, a lead pass. That missed Lafreniere. Icing waved off as Daniel Mizyul goes back. Pokes it ahead to Dorofeyev. Dorofeyev to Mizyul, jumping in. Plays that in the corner for Alexandrov. And now Mizyul, who had lost his stick, is in the play. Mizyul picks it up. Plays it down to Dorofeyev. He gets loose for Morozov. They collide behind the goal. Dorofeev pokes it free. Byram leaves it there for Valeno. And Valeno lifts that back to center ice. Knocked down by Zamula. Picked up by Malyshev. Poyenko, rather. Leaves it back for Zamula. Now Zamula. Winds that down to the Canadian zone. Jamie Drysdale goes back for it. Zamula in deep court to Sokolov. He's tied up. Sokolov works free on Drysdale. Denisenko throws it back in the corner for Sokolov. Back at the point is Zamula for Havanov. Havanov works free. Now Poyenko, a shot off the stick of Mercer, trickles down to Hofer, and he hangs on to that.
Connor McMichael has got goals in 3 straight games, and he gets a breakaway here, a gorgeous feed from Raphael Lavoie. Miftahoff holds his ground, and as McMichael tries to go up over the blocker, he's able to push it away. The Russians were on a change, and that opened up the one side of the ice. The bench applauds their goaltender, and McMichael can only rue the chance that got away.
Now Akil Thomas with a face-off against Kruglov. And Kruglov feeds that back to Galenya. Cousins racing to it, chops that loose puck. Bertiechev had to go off his skate, poked ahead to McMichael. Looking in for Thomas, that was knocked down by Romanov.
Russia's defense, for me, Gord, quite surprisingly, has been very aggressive in this period. We've seen Zamula down behind the other net, Nijul, and then Romanov pinching all the way to the corner. If Canada can make a quick, short breakout pass to a supporting centerman, they might get out of there on a man advantage break again.
Ball fires that in. Galenya looks ahead. That was knocked down by McMichael, who throws it back in. McMichael down to Thomas. That was knocked down and brought up by Voronkov. In on ball. Voronkov peels back and shoots. That was blocked by Ball. He picks it up. And now Kevin Ball leads the rush. His pass rink wide was knocked away by Podkolzin. And Akil Thomas has to retreat to the bench. Canada had a delayed offside coming. Morozov to the Canadian line. Knocked down by Byram. Bernard Docker drops it back to Bowen Byram, the 4th overall pick in last year's NHL draft to Colorado. In comes Byram. Lays it around. Alexandrov gets there for the Russians. Chops it to the line and not out. Now it's picked up. Brought up by Dorofeev. For Morozov, that pass intercepted by Dellandrea. He's got Foudy with him. Liam Foudy throws that at a bouncing puck swept away by Miftahoff. In comes Glenn on the forecheck. Foudy with a shot. That goes wide. Dorofeev on it. Lays it in for Morozov. Throws that back for Zamula. 12 and a half to go here in the 3rd period. Russia with a 2-1 lead. Denisenko drops that back to Havanov. That's picked off by McIsaac and skipped away from him. Havanov pokes the free. Now McIsaac goes racing to it. McIsaac up for Dellandrea. The center ice for Foudy. Throws that rink wide. Heaton going after it. On Galenya. Heaton takes a bump there. Moves the puck ahead. Now Heaton works it free. Kicks it loose in the corner and puts it back across for McIsaac. Sorkin up ahead for Denisenko. Grigory Denisenko comes leaping on Smith. Now collides behind the goal of McIsaac. Heaton back for it. Sorkin trying to work that free. McIsaac on it now. And Jared McIsaac works it free. McIsaac, a lead pass that was knocked down at center ice. Moved ahead by Sorkin. He finds Kruglov. Bumped there by Smith. Now for a sharp angle. That shot taken by Bertiechev. Stopped by Hofer. There's a chance in front. Quick shot, score! Action, Sorkin snaps it home, and Russia leads 3-1.
Joel Hofer has made next to no mistakes in the Canadian goal. He makes one here as a sharp angle shot he can't handle, and the rebound is going to allow the play to continue. There's really nothing going on in this play. Russia will chip it deep. And this shot's from the corner. Hofer leaves the rebound, and that leaves McIsaac stuck halfway between defending Sorkin in front of the net. He tries to block it. Sorkin's shot, his first point of the tournament, beats Joel Hofer. Canada's got a huge hole now, down by 2 with 11 minutes left.
So 11 minutes to go here in the third period. Russia with a 2-goal lead. Seeking their first gold medal since 2011 when they beat Canada in that comeback in Buffalo. Moved ahead by Cousins. In comes Cousins across the line. Dylan Cousins works back along the boards. Drops that back to Byram. He feeds across to Addison. Kalen Addison is shot. That trickles down. They score! Tipped by McMichael. And Canada's back within 1. 34 seconds after the Russian goal. This might get reviewed. But McMichael turned away on the breakaway earlier. Gets the deflection here.
The official was making the review sign almost immediately. McMichael is up. Oh, it's in the top of the slot. They want this reviewed, whether McMichael directs this into the net with his right foot or not. Well, I don't think so. I mean, that puck is halfway up his shin pad. He lifts his foot off the ice, but it would be hard.
You cannot direct the puck
right
any manner with your foot under IIHF rules. In the NHL, you can turn your blade. If they rule that he turned his foot to direct it, that would be no goal. It's a subtle difference between the IIHF rule and the NHL rule.
But it matters a lot here.
Right. Now, he wasn't looking. I mean, the puck was behind him.
So they'll have to determine that. I mean, was he trying to get it to the front of the net? Was he trying to get out of the way of it? Was he trying to let it hit him? They're going to have to determine that. That's going to be a tough one. The shot is partially blocked here. And it bounces all the way across the ice.
Well, it's off one foot and off the other. So, I mean, that's hard to say he directed that.
It would be really hard for me to buy that he was good enough to direct that to the net. So it deflects off Voronkov off the right shin and calf.
It's a goal. Canada's back within 1.
That's the right call.
So 10:40 to go. Canada once again down 1.
Isn't that the way it is? You miss a breakaway, one bounces off your calf and into the net. Canada, that's the first time that line in that configuration was together. McMichael's on the ice with Lavoie. There's the Addison shot that deflected off of McMichael in the net. So Lavoie and Addison, or Lavoie, McMichael, and Cousins were out together.
Now this is Foot centering Heaton and Lafreniere. Addison, lead pass for Heaton, chips in for Lafreniere. Galchenyuk knocks it down, feeds out ahead for Alexandrov. Trying to spin away from Addison. Alexandrov walks in, a little backdoor pass, missed for Dorofeyev. Romanov keeps it alive. Now here's Nolan Foot with it. Foot. The Kelowna Rocket to the western leg. Brings back with Byram, and now Byram lifts that down to the Russian zone. Into the forecheck goes Lafreniere. Heaton's trying to knock that free from Sokolov. Rozov goes into center ice, knocked down by Lafreniere for Smith. In comes Ty Smith. Smith drops it off for Foot. Alexandrov got in the way. Heaton knocked it down. Beat down to Foot. Nolan Foot with some room. Shoots from a sharp angle. That goes high. Knocked down by Ball.
No, we're in for a finish now.
Ball fires it down. When aren't we?
These teams have played some unbelievable medal round games.
Romanov. Hook free by McMichael, but the play is offside at the Russian line. Russia takes a 3-1 lead. Back comes Canada. The goal by McMichael. Now 3-2. Rene Fizell, the president of the IIHF since 1994. He's stepping down when his term expires in September. On the left is Frank Gonzalez, the tournament chairman. Originally from St. Catharines, Ontario, is now the president of the Spanish Ice Sports Federation. Not just hockey, figure skating, curling, luge, bobsled, you name it. McMichael throws that ahead for Addison. Kalen Addison, a centering pass, knocked down by Kruglov in front. Kruglov back across to Sorkin. Maxim Sorkin shoots it in. Glove by Hofer, and he'll hang on to that.
Connor McMichael starting to get more and more ice time here in the third period. He missed a breakaway. He's got the goal off of his leg. He plays for Dale Hunter in London, so there would be a great familiarity for Hunter to know where he thinks that McMichael would fit. Now he's out with Veleno and Foudy.
Foudy another London night. Now Polyenkov with it. Polyenkov in the corner on McMichael. Plays that back at the point for Sorkin. Winds and shoots. Bouncing puck. Hofer gets down to the deflection and makes the stop.
Good traffic in front of Hofer. He's got to find it again, make the save, but that rebound control that the players always talked about here comes into play again. It's a long shot. Sorkin's at the point covering for the defenseman, and Ratishev is inside of Ty Smith. Hofer has to track that, and he makes a really difficult save.
Now Voronkov with a face-off against Delandria. Face-off win by Delandria.
Penalty coming up for Russia here.
Delandria took with a high stick. Lafreniere picks it up. And as Marchenko touches up with 8:48 to go in the third period, Canada's going to the power play as Voronkov goes off.
Second penalty of the game for Voronkov as he just runs straight over top of Ty Delandria.
Veleno, Cousins, Lafreniere, Hayton, and Addison come out on the Canadian power play. Canada 1 for 5 with 5 shots total. The goal scored by Dylan Cousins on a 5-on-3. Veleno gets a warning. Wins the face-off back to Addison. Kalen Addison for Lafreniere. Alexis Lafreniere back to Kalen Addison. Across to Hayton, walks it and shoots, scores! Barron Hayton has tied the game! He can barely raise his arms, but he can score a tying goal in the gold medal game.
What an inspirational, important, critical goal by their team captain. I saw Hayton earlier today. I thought there was no chance he was going to be able to play. I'm shocked he's in the game, and I'm amazed at how hard he has played as this game went on. He was nervous early, got himself into the game, and this power play finds Hayton with the wrister. A beauty up over the blocker of Miftahov. Addison sets it up as he's done all tournament, and the captain comes through to tie the game at 3.
Now that pass picked up at center ice by Dorofeyev, working on Bernard Docker. 8.5 to go in the third period, a 3-3 tie. Foudy. Rink wide pass, knocked down by McMichael. He chops that back to the Russian zone. Alexandrov with it. And now Morozov picks it off. In comes Morozov around Foudy. Tries to kick that free. Waits for teammates to arrive. Picked off by Foudy again. And Foudy shovels that down to the Russian zone. That'll be icing against Canada.
What an unbelievable performance. You can only imagine the disappointment of Barrett Hayton yesterday when he was driven into the boards. It looked like it. We heard him yell in the arena. The injury seemed like there was no way he was going to be in the lineup. His third period goal has erupted the Canadian bench.
Face-off won by Dellandrea. Moves that down to McMichael. And now the Russians call for icing.
The Russians are starting to lose their cool here a little bit. This time it was Havanov. All of a sudden, Russia has taken more penalties than Canada in this game. 6-5 on the power plays. Canada with 2 power play goals, Russia with 1. You know, Gord, I'm looking at this 3-3 game, and we're talking right now about the Hayton power play goal. Let's not forget the McMichael goal. That was 34 seconds after the Russians took a 3-1 lead. If there was momentum that needed to be changed, something had to happen. And it was the McMichael goal off the back of his leg that helped springboard Canada into a position to tie this game.
Canada with goals 2 minutes and 1 second apart to tie it up. And now a centering pass by Foodie was blocked. Check that Lafreniere, and now Cousins with it. Back at the point is Hayton. Barrett Hayton walks across the top. Being shot there by Havanov. Gets around Denisenko. Hayton still with it. Loose in the corner, taken down by Zamula. Lafreniere on it. Works out of the corner, Lafreniere. Spins and shoots. That drifts off a skate. Over the glass and out of play. Barrett Hayton, the Peterborough, Ontario native, becomes a Canadian junior legend with a tying goal here in the third. Time now for the Gatorade shift of the game.
Trailing 3-2 just a few moments ago. Kalen Addison finds the captain, Barrett Hayton. Hayton's wrister beats Miftahoff. This game is tied at 3.
Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Bueno steps in for the face-off against Kruglov. Bueno up there with Dudas and Foot. Face-off, one back to Byram. Owen Byram. Down to Dudas. In the corner for Foot. Foot trying to poke that back. Dudas sealed the boards, now picked up. And moved ahead by Sorkin. Out to play it is Hofer. Leaves it there for Addison. Now Valeno knocked it down. And Kruglov fires it back down. Byram. Here's Valeno. Joe Valeno. Feeds that back to Byram. Addison up for Valeno. Gets that down the Russian zone. It's knocked down there by Misyul. Byram shields off Marchenko, and Byram back with it. Puck squirts back in front. Hofer knocks that away and flips it back to center. Foodie can fly, and he comes on Misyul, and Misyul quickly knocked that away from him. Voronkov flips that ahead. Knocked down by Bernard Docker. Around he goes to Foodie. And now Misyul drops it back to Zhuravlov. Misyul. Center ice and flips that down. Put it over the glass. But from center ice, there's no penalty, and the face-off will be at center ice. 5:45 to go in the third period. It's Canada and Russia. Knotted at 3 in the third period of the gold medal game of the 2020 World Junior Hockey Championship. Back here on Ostrava, 5:45 to go in the third period. Canada and Russia for the gold medal here. Barrett Hayton has the tying goal for Canada. And now Smith gains center ice and fires that down to the Russian zone. In comes Hayton on the forecheck. Drop back and that shot fired wide by Cousins. Alexandrov knocked down by Hayton with a high stick. Waved off as the Russians played it. Alexandrov drops it back for Pilyankov. If the game is tied in regulation, it's 3-on-3 overtime until there's a winner. There's no shootout in the gold medal game. Dorofeyev drops that back. Zamula, long shot. Hofer makes the stop. And Bernard Docker has it back.
Barrett Hayton's in some distress at the Canadian bench. He got hit right in front of the penalty boxes here.
Now brought in by Havanov. Havanov works in on ball, shoots. Hofer makes the stop and is able to hang on.
Hayton's talking to athletic therapist Mike Bernstein. Across the ice from the Canadian bench, Hayton's going to get run into.
There's the second up from Rozov.
You see how tightly he grips that left arm to his body. Not really a big hit. I mean, he's finishing the check on him, and you can see Hayton right away, man. That stings for him. Staying on the bench, however.
Denisenko had that shot deflect wide. Hofer plays it around the foot. Knocked down by Dellandrea. Plays it back for ball. Now Dellandrea pulls that free for Canada, along with Foot. Dellandrea works it ahead, fires that down the Russian zone, and they're going to call that icing as the shooting came from the other side of center ice. 4:33 to go, and the face-off back down to the Canadian zone.
Valeri Bragin sees his team with a 3-1 lead. 34 seconds after Maxim Sorkin scored to make it 3-1. Connor McMichael made it 3-2, and then Barrett Hayton tied it up on the power play.
Face off, one back by Kruglov to Zhuravlov. Feeds that back to Sorkin, a long shot. Hofer the save. And now picked up by Lavoie. Raphael Lavoie skates it in along with Nolan Foot. Canada changing. Lavoie fires, that goes high. Foot back on it, knocks it down. Off the bench comes Thomas. Lavoie works it free. Back for Thomas. Akil Thomas to the point he goes. The puck squirted out on Bernard Docker. Now moved ahead. In comes Thomas with a chance. Moves it, but he scores! Akil Thomas has given Canada the lead with less than 4 minutes to go in the third period. His first goal of this World Junior Hockey Championship.
Akil Thomas had played under 4 minutes in this game through 2 periods. He's on the ice with the injury to Barrett Hayton. The centers are moved around a little bit. It's loose puck. Akil Thomas jumps to it. The second-round pick of the Los Angeles Kings gets to the loose puck. Miftahoff misses the poke check. His first goal, as you mentioned, Gord, his second point of the tournament. And Akil Thomas has made it 4-3 Canada.
And now Valeri Bragin is talking to referee Lassi Heikkinen.
The only thing I could think that they may be challenging or want to challenge is the entry into the zone. It seems like it's okay. Think of Tyler Steenbergen a couple of years ago in Buffalo. Doesn't have a shift forever. His first goal of the tournament turns out to win the gold medal. Can Akil Thomas have done the same thing?
Now Polyenkov goes back for it. What a turn of events. Canada has its first lead. Dudas down to Foudy. Liam Foudy works it free. Now Foudy in the corner with it. Foudy works that down. Veleno, who will play a ton here down the stretch, knocks that back in the corner. Zamula. Russians came back to tie against the Swedes in the semifinal, won the game in overtime. Now trying for the equalizer here. Bartego turns it over. Dudas out to Veleno. And Podkolzin has it back. Vasily Podkolzin works in. Podkolzin, poke check by Veleno. That comes Lafreniere with Veleno. Lafreniere in, shoots, that goes wide. Picked up now by Romanov. Alexander Romanov winds in. In on Ball, Kevin Ball. Separated Podkolzin from the puck. Now a chance on the side of the goal. Podkolzin down, rolled it wide. A penalty coming to Canada. Havanov feeds it back to Denisenko. In for Havanov. Havanov, a centering pass. That missed Romanov. And the puck back to center ice. Touched up by Cousins. Though he didn't get it. Denisenko in for Havanov. Havanov winds in. Morozov had it poked away by Ball, and with 2:41 to go in the third period, Ball is called for hooking, and Russia will go to the power play.
Oh, man, this third period has been unbelievable. Here is the penalty on Kevin Ballas, but Colson finds a little bit of room to go to the front of the net. The Akil Thomas goal. Dramatic goal as he beats Miftahoff. The Canadian bench will explode as they've taken a 4-3 lead in the hallway below the rink. That's the legend Vladislav Tretiak watching a TV feed, shaking his head.
Timeout called. Igor Larionov on the Russian bench, along with Dragan, talking to the Russian team. Russia 1 for 5 on the power play with 10 shots.
Canada with 3 straight goals in the third period, trailing 3-1. Now that penalty-killing group that did such an amazing job in the first period when they took 4 penalties will have a beyond important kill. Now Russia has the goaltender out. It's a 6-on-4. I don't love this gourd off the face-off. I'd prefer to wait till I had possession to take the goaltender out of the net. You lose the draw, the defensive team shoots at 200 feet, it's over.
Valeno will face off against Voronkov. Draw one back to Denisenko to Romanov. Across to Zamula. Romanov fires, hope for the save, and there's no rebound.
Oh, boy.
Mom and Dad.
I hope somehow they're enjoying this through their nerves. This is the Romanov point shot through a screen. A little bit of an exhale.
For Elaine and Steven.
Although 8 seconds just ran off the clock. A long way to go yet.
Now Galandria wins it back to Bernard Docker. Docker fires it down and misses. Back to pick it up is Zamula. In for Havanov. Being watched there by Foudy. Havanov gains center ice, winds it in, fires. Hofer knocks it down. He shoots at the empty net. It goes off a Russian player. And the face-off will be outside. Was he going for the empty net goal?
Well, he's trying, perhaps, but trying to clear it as well. But what a gutsy play by Joel Hofer to clear the puck from that position.
Now, Javi Boulin's asking Dragan, you want the goalie back in the net? The face-off's going to be outside the Canadian line. And they're going to keep the 6 skaters on the ice here. Some confusion on the Russian bench there. 2:11 to go in the third period. Another face-off win for Canada. Dudas with it. Aiden Dudas backhands that towards the empty net. Zamula goes back for it. 2 minutes to go in the third period. In comes puck, pulls it across the line. Drops that back, it's wrapped around. Bowen Byram slaps it off the boards, but not out. Morozov knocks it down for Romanov. Now Dudas on it. Aiden Dudas shovels that off the camera. And that's going to be a penalty to Canada for delay of game. It hit the camera above the glass. Now that is... Going to check on this now.
There would be ground rules, if you will, discussed about this. Is the camera in play or is it out of play?
The camera is
it's out of play. I mean, looking at that angle, that puck is out of play now. The referees don't have that look.
Right.
They won't have a secondary look here. The linesman immediately called a 2-minute penalty.
Doesn't look like it's going to be a penalty against Canada.
The Russians are infuriated. This is not going to be a penalty. That camera is our TSN center ice camera. That is behind the glass. It's placed behind the glass for that purpose. Oh boy.
Voronkov for the face-off. Scramble draw. Bernard Docker gets to it. Now Denisenko. Inside a minute to go in the Russian power play. Havanov feeds that back for Romanov. Across to Zamula. Feeds it back across. Havanov a shot. He cued that wide. Denisenko on it. Grigory Denisenko.
That's going to be a penalty here.
Penalty to Russia. We saw the same call on Veleno earlier for knocking the defender's stick out of his hands. That's going to do it for the Russian power play, which had 44 seconds remaining.
Dorofeyev is going to go to the penalty box.
It's interference is the call under IIHF rules.
Same penalty that was called on Veleno. It's the same thing. It's interference. They called it in the first period. They'll call it here in the third period. Dorofeyev lifts the stick out of Fudi's hands. So we've got 4-on-4 to close the game, well, to close most of the game out. If Canada can get control of the puck, Russia can't pull the goaltender. If you can keep the puck rolling around down in this end of the ice, you'll keep the goalie in the net.
Always think, though, that 4-on-4 is a disadvantage for the defending team. A little more room for the attackers.
You win the draw, you've got the puck, however.
Veleno lost the draw to Havanov, but now gets it back. And Veleno scrums it back in the corner. Stepping up is Fudi, and Veleno feeds that back to Byram.
That's a good 20 seconds for Joe Veleno right there. Outstanding work.
Bernard Docker knocked that down to the Russian zone. Now on the 4-on-4, Denisenko. In across the Canadian line, Denisenko deals back. Inside a minute to go, Miftahoff to the bench. Russia with the extra skater on the ice. In comes Romanov. Head back in the corner, Havanov. Denisenko. Morozov. Denisenko winds and shoots a stick broke. Picked up by Fudi, who plays it back to center ice. And now Canada on the power play. Denisenko slams his stick to the ice in frustration. And he's going to get a penalty here, I believe. Denisenko's going off with 37 seconds left in the third period. 5-on-3 Canada for the rest of the third period. And the captain is unglued in the penalty box.
The penalty is that Denisenko carried the broken stick all the way to the penalty box. He's trying to clearly shoot the puck from the top here. His stick craters on him. Oh, and so he played the puck there. That's the penalty on Denisenko. As Fudi was breaking out, he tried to poke the puck away. Canada, with a 3-goal third period, should be able to milk this away. Win the puck. You don't have to shoot it. Don't shoot it. Hold on to it.
Bernard Docker down to Hayton. Back out there for Canada. Cousins with it now. Back for Lafreniere. Canada playing keep away now. Lafreniere in the corner for Cousins. Cousins. 20 seconds to go in the third period. Lafreniere back to Byram. Byram shovels it down to Lafreniere. Looks down to Cousins. 10 seconds to go in the third period. Hayton feeds it down to Cousins. Telling Cousins in, shoots. Without the save. And Canada's going to win it. It's a gold medal in Ostrava. As Canada comes back and beats Russia 4-3. Gold medal in Canada's World Junior history.